It is now 5:30. Now we're in session for the City Council Board of Mayor and Alderman for our February 10th meeting 2026. We're now in session to call to order. At this time, we have an invocation of the pledge. Can y'all hear me? Not through the microphone, but because I don't hear. Let's try it one more time. Let's do that. Yeah, let's swap this one.
And you'll swap this one.
Yeah. That's, here we go. We got you gotta have a microphone. Please, this one we got. All right, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, this time we have an invocation of pledge. Maybe bow. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you once again, humble as we know how. Thank you for the mercy and the amazing grace that's been shed upon our community. Thank you for carrying us through this winter storm and through all the trials and tribulations that we see around the world, that you're still keeping your eye on us here in Brownsville, Tennessee. May we continue to have the business of the city of Brownsville foremost in our minds tonight as we make decisions that are best for the community as a whole. May we always never fail to give you the honor and the grace for which it all belongs. In Jesus' name we pray, we thank you for your blessings. Amen. Amen. May we stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we are very thankful in our community that during this last winter storm, we did not lose power, but there were so many people in our community that stepped up during this time of crisis. One of the people that stood out among many was our EMA director, Mr. Jerry McCall. Would you come forward, please? Tonight, I want to present you with this challenge form. It says, in God we trust. But every time there's a challenge in our community, there's an opportunity for us to step up as a whole. City, county, police, sheriff, ambulance authority, fire department. And that was shown again in this crisis situation. But we all know that your job is the EMA director, but you went above and beyond your call of duty. And for that, we are very thankful. And I can say thank you on behalf of the city of Brownsville and all that you helped. The 36, 37 people you pulled out the ditch, opened up the warming center. Yeah, you go up to 37, right? 37. All right. So that's the kind of intuitive resilience that we always have in our community. You show an example. Your leadership update us and keep us involved. Thank you so much. I'd like to present you with this form.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the help, fire, EMS, sheriff's department, police department. It was a long 2 weeks, but we made it through it without anything dramatically happening. But we had a lot of challenges, but everybody worked through it and we made it. Thank y'all.
Thank you. There was a lack of transportation to the dialysis clinics, and our EMA services stepped up to the plate. Our police department, in particular, Lieutenant Patrick Black, Jesus Avellana, who does it? So Acevedo, thank you. Acevedo and Mark Cup, those are some of the police officers that were brought to my attention. The EMA, the fire department stepped up and transported 32 patients, made 96 trips to the dialysis clinic, so people had those services available to them. That's the type of resiliency and cooperation that we're so thankful for in our community. Thank you to all that participate. All right. Next, we have the approval of our minutes from our regular January 13th, 2026 meeting. Are there any questions, concerns from the Alderman? Have you had a chance to peruse the minutes?
Move to approve.
So I hear a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? Second. Any questions or corrections on the minutes from our January meeting? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it know by sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay. Mr. Shelton Merrill, we now have a recommendation from the planning committee on ordinance number 1047, the notice on the first reading.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, the council and the audience. First of all, do you have any questions regarding, we on the noise ordinance, right?
Correct.
Basically, this ordinance makes more expansive than what we have currently. That only deals with loud noise such as mufflers and horns of cars. This makes it more expensive. It talks about stereo equipment and things of that nature. Talks about the hours where excessive noise should not occur. Those hours being from 11 to 7. And that's basically pretty much to this. It's based off of the city of Jackson's anti-noise ordinance. So if you have any questions relative to it, please shoot away.
There's just one correction I do want to make on this clause. It says each violation for water carries a fine up to $50 per day, daily. We should need to strike daily from there.
Yes, the attorney added the fee schedule to that. That should have been toward the end of the ordinance, and that was done. Matter of fact, it's not even my responsibility to create these kind of ordinances. We heard, there was a call made to the building department. We heard it, we put our heads together, we made something happen. And we thank everybody that was involved in the process.
That's the question I had.
Right, to figure out the day.
What problem, so what problem?
Yeah.
You have some complaints.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And I did have a meeting with the police department this morning. They said they will continue on. They don't see this as a major problem in our community, but they will continue to address it as they have in the past. Warnings, and then, of course, there's a $50 fine on civil violation. Okay, all right, so we have ordinance before us, a recommendation from the planning committee as presented. So I get a motion to approve ordinance number 1047.
I got one.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
So what we saying is too loud?
Well,
Uh,
that's in the hearing of the beholder. All of this, you know, there's not a decibel level that has a specific level that's, I guess, too stentorian for somebody. Far as the sound, we're not, at this point, we're not recording the actual decibels for sounds. So we're not getting into the weeds with that far as specificity is concerned. I'm pretty sure that, we're going to keep our police officers, keeping them safe as opposed of, going to people's residence and getting cursed out all the time and taking them off and getting somebody, helping somebody when they need safety and protection. So basically, again, if you are not able to hear, I guess 50 feet away, from the building itself, I guess according to this ordinance, I guess you're not that, who's to say? I mean, you know, what's loud to me may not be loud to me.
Correct.
All right.
Any other questions, concerns, or ordinance?
So audio, they're hearing 50 feet away. And a lot of this was brought on by is that we had a gentleman in Ward 3 that had it's got a 4-plex or a 3-plex, has apartments, loud music going next door. Some of those people, you know, wasn't able to sleep at night, sometimes going 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They gotta get up, go to work. They were renting, came into work, blew over or came into work at the hospital. And, they were just having trouble sleeping, and, he was looking for some help. So I will say, I appreciate you guys jumping on this, and being proactive to get something in place, because as we got to looking, we had noise ordinance for vehicles and what your vehicle should sound like and shouldn't sound like, but really nothing for property and for homeowners to protect homeowners. And I think most of us in the room would agree, if you move next door to somebody that is partying all night, it's a problem. So, I appreciate you being proactive to get this in place. Will it solve all the issues? And does it mean we're out north looking for, you know, for noise ordinances? No, it just gives us a leg to stand on when somebody is making complaints and they have valid complaints. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay. Here and there, I'd like to see the pleasure of the board entertaining a motion on ordinance number 1047.
I'll make a motion to approve.
There's been a motion, do I hear a second?
A second.
Been moved and properly second. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote on the first reading. All in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. All right, please excuse me, I omitted the public comments. At this time, as if with any meeting, if there are any public comments, anything that's on the agenda tonight, limit yourself to 2 minutes, please. State your name and, please stand. Are there any public comments on anything on tonight's agenda? Okay. Hearing none, thank you for your patience. All right, ordinance number 1048, it's an OSHA safety plan. So Caleb, I think you're here who can present that. This is a safety plans housekeeping. This is on the second reading, which also has a public hearing involved and also ordinance on the second reading. So once again, we double down on ordinance number 1047. Are there any questions or comments or public comments on OSHA safety plan? Okay, hearing none. You don't want to give us a brief overview again?
Yeah,
Is there any questions from the audience?
I was about to say, pretty much all it is OSHA or OSHA, it's Tennessee OSHA. They make you, have a health and safety plan every 7 years. This is just updating our plan to pretty much change the names of the supervisors, the ones that aren't here anymore. And it just pretty much tells who to go to for what's OSHA safety issue or health problem we have. And so that was already given to the state. They said if you can get it approved, it fits all of our regulations. And so we just pretty much changed the key names, and that's about it.
Okay,
This year is same basic OSHA plan. Not-
Yeah, so it's the same one, that was signed over 7 years ago. It still met all the state regulations we needed. And again, we just changed the name, like Chief Evolt isn't here anymore, it's Chief Evans. And that's all the substitutions we made in it.
So the city, we're not made to go up, like, cause they should add it up to OSHA 30. So-
Yeah, that's, I know, this covers us and this will cover us until 2032. Yes, sir. Because technically it starts in 2025 and it's good for 7 years, so at the end of 2032 is when we'll have to update that again.
okay. We have ordinance before us, number 1048 on the second reading. We met the requirements of a public hearing. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Want to make a motion?
There's been a motion made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Are there any questions, corrections, concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor, let it know by sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, Carolyn, Miss Carolyn, are you here? Thank you. We have before us a proposal of Ms. Bachelor. This came from the state, along with Carolyn from the police department on the court costs and administrative fees that we're seeing come from the state. You want to give us a brief overview of, what this ordinance is pertaining?
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone.
You can use the microphone, just press the button.
It's
It's on, it's on.
It's already.
Just wanted to let everyone know that there has been a new update to the hands-free that took effect on January 1st of 26. The TCA code is 558-199, which is the hands-free law. It specifically reads, in addition to any other fine or fee, person violating this section is subject to a $5 administrative fee to be retained by the court clerk. Courts may now access an additional $5 administrative fee on top of the other $50 fine and a $10 court cost, bringing the total to $65. MTAS believes that the extra $5 fee should be allocated the same manner as regular court costs. The new $5 administrative fee does not have to be set aside to any special revenue account and should go into the same fund as regular court costs. As a result, the hands-free violation should look like a $50 fine, $10 court costs, and a $5 new administration fee.
Okay, this is an ordinance that we've been presented before us tonight. So of course, it takes two readings. This is the first reading that we are entertaining tonight on ordinance number 1049 on the $5 administrative fee for hands-free according to the state regulation, the TCA code. All right, we have ordinance number 1049 for us. What's the pleasure of the board? Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion.
Been motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, been moved and second. All right, discussion concerns from the alderman. Anything else you'd like to add?
Just wanted to say, the grand total of $65, city send $2 to the revenue and keep 63.
Okay.
The revenue keeps 63. So,
All
I
right,
just wanted to add that part.
all right, thank you, Carol. All right, so we do have a motion on the table tonight on ordinance number 1049 on the first reading. At this time, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay, ordinance number 49 passes on the first reading. All right, now, Mr. Merrill, if you can come back. We have, three ordinances before us tonight, all on the first reading on the rezoning of property. Ordinance 1050, rezoning property from high density to low density. Ordinance 1051, rezoning from medium density to low density. And rezoning property from R3 to R1. All these on the first reading, of course, we're taking individuals because they have individual numbers, but they're all concerning the same tracts of land. Mr. Mayor, you want to explain this? Please?
Yes, sir. These ordinances come as a result of the amending of the adopted Haywood Next Future Land Use Plan. It was amended by the Brownsville Municipal Regional Plan Commission and subsequently by you, Board of Mayor and Alderman. And as a result of that effort, these are the ordinances that have been engendered as a result of those actions. Basically, this is the administrative rezoning effort to get properties associated with East Jefferson Street rezoned from high density residential, which is R3, to R1, which they should have been in the first place. If you look at the vast majority of what's built along East Jefferson Street, we're talking about from the Mercer, the Mercer Road portion of East Jefferson. I mean, so we're talking about everything that's at the light going out, I guess that will be heading east, going back toward the interstate, everything. We have these three ordinances taking those properties, with the exception of the multifamily apartments that are existing and are being built. And we're just reducing that back down to R1 based upon the meeting that we had where we had the neighbors in that area vicinity to come out and to voice concerns in planning meeting. And as a result of Highway 19 only being 22-foot wide.
Okay, we did have input from the community on these particular ordinances and the residents that live along that corridor. We also had a traffic study done before the construction of the present property improvements that are there for the monthly family. So this is a result of what we hear from the community, what you said that you want. They went through the planning commission, continue to come before us tonight. So let's take them individually. Ordinance number 1050. This is rezoning property from high density to low density on the first reading. All right, do I entertain? I like to entertain a motion. Do you want to approve ordinance number 1050? Motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We've been moving properly second. Are there any discussions or questions for Mr. Mayor? Okay, let's call for the vote. All in favor, let it know by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Okay, 1050 carries on the first reading. 1051 is the rezoning property from medium density to low density along the same corridor. Is that correct, Mr. Mayor? All right. At the time, I'd like to know the pleasure of the board. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 1051. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Has been moved and properly second. Are there other questions or discussions or concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay, ordinance number 1052, the zoning property from R3, tied into R1 on the first reading. What's the pleasure of the board on approval of ordinance number 1052? Do I hear a motion?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Mayor. I hate to interject, but,
Please do.
but for transparency's sake, ordinance 1051 also should have in the title, general commercial, because you do have one parcel of property that is rezoned, that is zoned now, medium density residential and general commercial.
That's on 1051.
That's from 1051.
Yeah, sorry to say.
Okay, all right. Any corrections, concerns on 1052, Mr. Mayor? We good to go? R3 to R1? Okay. Do I have a motion on 1052?
Motion to approve ordinance 1052.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. These are all on the first reading. The ordinance approved, ordinance number 1052. Let's call for the vote. All in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Mr. Mayor, again, ordinance number 1053. This amended chapter 11 provision governing signs.
Yes, I'm gonna go through this as quickly as I possibly can. We put all this together regarding the gateway corridor provisions, only allowing for monument signs along, Anderson Avenue and stuff like that, but we didn't put, those provisions in the sign ordinance. And I was in a hurry, we had a lot of items for the planning commission agenda, so I took the entire section 11.04, whatever it is pertaining to the sign ordinance, with that, and opposed to me, instead of me reordering everything and just calling that out, there's a new 4. And as a result of the new 4, there's also, the old 4 became 5. And and as a result, we got a new 6. So far as the number is concerned. Right, so I did it the old school way, I just put the whole section out there. Also, we cleared up some grammatical errors such as periods and stuff like that. But the main gist of this ordinance is all the stuff that you see there for the most part, about 99.4%, it's already in the ordinance. All we did was doing some grammatical errors, and we're putting the gateway corridor provisions also in the sign ordinance, since they do regulate signs too, along the Anderson corridor. That's all this particular sign, this amendment does.
Hey, Mr. Merle, I've read that Augustine goes to more of a monument sign versus a pole sign.
Yes.
I think that's gonna be way better, a lot cleaner.
Yes, sir.
You know, I noticed when we did the sign ordinance, well, what about billboards? Does that prohibit billboards on that gateway?
Right, billboards have their own overlay district, and that's the interstate zone, and they also have the OPS, overlay district as well. And that covers basically the only place that you can have a billboard in the city of Brownsville is where the interstate, intersects the city boundaries, okay? That's one district, and also along the CA roads, that's also a mistake that I made. We need to catch. It's CA roads, not GA roads. The CA road bypass. Which reduce pre. That's the only place that you can put, that you can put billboards.
Thank you.
Okay. We have, ordinance number 1053, the amendment of chapter 11 provision governing signs on the first reading. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 1015. What is the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
So moved, right here, second.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? Any concerns or corrections? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote on the first reading. All in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay. Resolution number 1104, penny payment process. Ms. Bash, you want to present that for us?
This resolution just, talks about us moving from pennies since the federal government is no longer making pennies, we are going to, move up to 5 cents or a dime instead of extra pennies in our software. And getting money in from our citizens. Since the federal government has decided to get rid of pennies they made.
Yes, the resolution reads, now for it be resolved, that the city of Brownsville will round up to the nearest 5 cents or 10 cent amounts.
So Ms. Bass,
Yes, sir.
just sorry to get a clear understanding, obviously, we've had this discussions in a lot of sectors, you know. When somebody comes in to pay their taxes, say they're $125.10 or 7 cents. What are we gonna do? I mean,
We're gonna go up to a dime.
we're gonna go up to the time,
Yes. Cause it's over in it.
and we can do that,
Yes, we can.
okay, that's legal to do.
Yes.
And then if it's under the nickel,
If it's under a nickel, it's gonna be a nickel. So, right now, it's just rounding.
Yeah.
Standard rounding. And right now, most of our taxes are come in either a nickel, we don't do pennies or cents. So, we only have that issue when we have interest on our, taxes, when somebody owes taxes.
okay,
So we're just round up to either a nickel or round up to either a dime.
so comptroller for state Tennessee is good with us rounding up.
Yes. Actually, they sent the memo out.
Yeah, well, I knew they sent the memo, but I didn't quite catch that piece, but
Yes.
anyway, that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah, all right.
And those Catholic, most of our payments are done electronically, so there's no rounding involved there.
And then there's gonna be quite some time, I think, before pennies get out of the system, because there's still a bunch of pennies around.
I don't care, I'm
Yeah.
quite sure,
Yeah.
but, we're no longer taking
Hmm.
much as possible, so.
Yeah.
Okay, final time. We have resolution number 1104, the pending payment process for force. Of course, on a resolution only takes one reading. This time, I would like another pleasure of the board on resolution number 1104. Do I hear a motion? So moved, do I hear a second?
Okay.
It's been moved and properly second. All right, before we go to any questions, concerns about the pending payment process. Here none, we'll call for vote. All those in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Those opposed, nay. Here none, 1104 passes. All right, 1105, write-off or cancellation of delinquent personal property tax. Back,
Back in I think it's 2018. 2019, I'm sorry. Back in 2019, there were some properties that were on the tax roll that are no longer in existence. So we got a notice in to remove those properties from our tax roll. For some reason, that was overlooked with the city. So this is just currently moving delinquent taxes for personal properties off our tax rolls on businesses who no longer exist.
and this list came from the assessor's office, correct?
That's correct.
And so, Ms. Factor, has the assessor county taxes, did they take them off?
Yes, they did.
So I know some of these people, they're still around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, and they gotta, so I guess what we're saying is if we vote, they got a free ride, right? They
Well, I
don't,
guess
they no
that
longer own.
particular business that they might have had that particular time no longer exists. I mean,
Or lack of.
so. Like, so they were taken off on the county side and the list came over to me, so we can take them off on the city side.
I'm not gonna jump up and down either, but yeah. So I did look at the list and I saw some of these businesses that don't exist anymore. I don't know about every single one of them. This is what we have before us tonight. Resolution number 1105. All right, we have 1105 before us tonight, to write off the cancellation delinquent personal property tax. These don't allow businesses that no longer exist. This list came from the assessor's office. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion or move on the pleasure of the board for resolution 1105. Is there a motion? Okay, resolution number 1105. Okay, 1105. No motion, so we have to revisit this, I guess, at another time.
Please keep in mind that these documents are since 2000, go back to 2003.
Yeah.
So they passed the deadline of us even trying to collect them anyway.
So that was gonna be a question. If you got a motion and a second, when we open the question, what does the state law say about, so the state law on property taxes on real estate property, right? Is it, what is it, 10
10
years?
years,
And this is personal property tax, right?
yes.
So this would be like taxes on the equipment or
Correct.
tools or whatever.
Associated with that particular
Yeah,
business.
and is there statute on that, state law?
I understand that's 10 years as well.
Hmm.
So,
The land is on here, they're still here.
but the business is no longer in existence.
So I'm not gonna have any
That's
bills.
So, so this is what I understand of how it happens. For real property tax, 10 years. We can collect up to 10 years. With the personal property tax, as long as the business is still in existence, then that equipment goes with those property tax. So it moves on to whoever gets the business next. So it keeps them current. These people, their business no longer exists. Not that, I mean, you might know them, but their business
Yeah,
no longer exists. And so if that's the case, they are, and they're over the 10-year process, 10 years. So they can be written off legally.
so when we had a discussion last time, about, or quite some time ago, about putting names in the paper and everything. I had a gentleman that came up here and he paid his property taxes, and some of them were 10 or 12 years old. But he went ahead and he paid his property taxes. And then that same gentleman had the nerve to turn around and ask me, after consulting with a lawyer, he said, I didn't have to pay my property taxes after 10 years. And I said, well, you owed your property taxes. You should have to pay your property taxes, regardless of what. If it's something that you didn't owe, I don't see how we can exempt from it. But I got a little heartburn with that. You know how I feel about that. I'm gonna make a motion to accept, and I'm gonna clean our rolls up. But it's a problem.
I would love to collect these as well.
Yeah.
But we won't ever collect them.
And then and this has been already taken from the rolls on the county side. This something you said for 2019?
Go back, some of them goes back to 2003. So, I mean, these are over 10 years.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor right here, second. Second, Ms. White. All right, so now are there any questions, concerns? And then we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, let it know by the sign of aye.
Yeah.
Those opposed, nay. Okay. Now, next we have the 1106, accepting the bid for 929 Scott Street. Chris, will you go, or Ms. Back, one of you, we were all there to the bid for 929 Scott. What Who's, I don't have it in my package, I'm not looking right now. We're accepting the bid with how,
DCS LLC in $102,000.
that's what I'm looking for. This is a part of a bid process that we do for, housing we have through our THDA grant, this was the Lord's bill. Okay, this is time I'd like to entertain a motion to approve resolution number 1106, accept the bid for 929 Scott Street. Do I hear a motion? Motion. Do I hear a second?
That's seven.
Been moved and seconded by Alderman Flagg. All right, any questions, concerns?
There's one house.
We just taking one at a time. Yeah, this is one house. They do everything up to a reconstruct. This particular house needed this was the bid, the lowest bid that came in on this particular reconstruct.
That was the house that came under bid at one
Yes.
time. So we had to go back and rebid. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Call for vote, all in favor, let it know by sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. Bid itself. All right, we just need a quick vote on our next board meeting, we want to move it to the 17th. For different delay, the committee, to talk about, mandatory for me to attend. So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion, we approve to move the, March meeting for, the 17th, 3/17/26. Do I hear a motion? Motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
We can move in proper second, all in favor, let it know by the sign of aye. Those opposed, community development report, what do you have?
Are there any questions or concerns regarding the community development reports? On the multimodal, Sebastian was unable to make it tonight. So he, as you can see in front of you, he did send an email giving a brief overview of the next steps. So he did make his first submittal road, right away submittal to TDOT with all the items and deleted. Minus the title report, which waiting on Michael Banks to send to him. So once he gets that, he's gonna submit that back to TDOT as well. And you can see the next steps that he has listed. And he is anticipating for construction date summer 2027. If everything goes, if everything goes through with TDOT, everything gets cleared, summer 2027 to start.
Yes, I just said vote again, bro.
We covered the, we're gonna work now, working on the Scott Street residents. Are there any other thing, anything else in the report? Okay. Financial report, Ms. Backus.
Are there any questions or concerns concerning the revenue expenditures for January?
Hearing none? All right, if we have no questions, concerns on the financial manager report, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the report as presented. Do I hear a motion? Motion, do I hear a second? Any other questions or concerns? Put it out to. Hearing none, we'll call for vote. All in favor, let it know by sign of aye. Those opposed, nay. The mayor's report. Very briefly, I've already said thank you to all the people at Public Works who worked tirelessly. I think Saturday was the first day they had off during the whole process of moving the snow. And we appreciate everybody for what you did. I can't say enough about that come together. And people's patience. We should be back on schedule now with the garbage collection, during the course of this week. We have our annual Unity Prayer Breakfast, which was very well attended. Reverend Farmer was our speaker for the day, and we just had a wonderful time. We had great participation for everybody. The food was good, the fellowship was good, and we started the year off in the right way. So thank you everybody for participating. I did receive an award with the African American Mayors from West Tennessee for Project Code Red, which is the Ministerial Alliance in Jackson, Tennessee. You see myself, the Mayor from Humboldt, Mayor Tizik from Bolivar, the Mayor from Whiteville, Gene Bowden, and myself did receive awards. Bishop Patterson came as the speaker, and I'll thank you again for the award and recognition for our leaders in West Tennessee. We did have the Chamber of Commerce State of the Community Address where myself, Mayor Bauer, Mayor Livingston, all got 15 minutes or so to address the needs and wants and concerns of the community. I think it was another successful, well-attended event as well. All right, that's all I have for my mayor's report. Any departmental reports? Okay, what about the Alderman? Alderman Pugh?
Don't have anything this time.
Alderman Bishop?
Yeah, I have a couple things. We had a 250, Tennessee 250 celebration meeting today, in which me and Miss Crystal Matthews, um, were in attendance. And there are three other, appointees from the county, so city and county are working together jointly on that effort. And, we passed the deadline for the grant, but there may be an opportunity to open up again if they don't spend the money. We discussed today doing some historical, patriotic, murals in the Criminal Justice Center, because when you walk in that Criminal Justice Center, who serves not only Haywood County, but the city of Brownsville, it's just so bland and so, there's a lot of wall space and it's just pretty plain. And we talked about, doing a Haywood County patriotic and maybe basing some of that on educational, murals and, historical murals. Some may be based on agriculture and some, with just real estate, within Haywood County, but maybe to line those walls up there. So we're gonna get together and have another meeting. We're gonna talk about how we want those to look and get some creative ideas and then talk about the cost. So if they do open the portal back up to, for grants, we should be ready to apply for a grant just to aesthetically help that, criminal justice center. And as part of that program, the governor comes, you submit the date. We thought about having a reception in there, getting the community together, the governor being there, and then having something that will be lasting after that with those murals on the wall. So that's what we discussed today. I'll keep you updated on that. And then also just one other item, 42 South Washington. I know we've talked about it several times. It's the building that has the hole in the roof, that seems to be leaking quite seriously. I mean, it's just open up there. We're worried about the integrity of other buildings. Mayor and I talked about it today. I've talked to Joe Barden about it, talked to Michael Banks about it. We're gonna look at some options here really quick to get that thing probably patched, or to look for the way ahead on that building. And I think it's, it's another one of these items where, like these guys that don't pay their delinquent taxes, like these guys, they just come in, they buy property up, and then they just, they let the property go down. And we want to hold these people accountable. So as part of that plan, we're gonna work hard to hold these guys' feet to the fire. You just can't come in and buy a piece of property, and if it's not profitable to you, just turn around and walk away. Don't pay your taxes. Don't keep your building up, because it has second and third order effects with the adjacent buildings. So, more to come. I plan to present options, this month and hopefully get to a vote next month on that building. That's all I have.
Okay, yeah, we do have the concerns about that building report to Washington. Michael Banks is our attorney, has been in touch with the owner. The last proposal was not something that was acceptable for us just to give us the building. I agree with you. I think we definitely need to hold the property owners accountable. That's a more legal aspect and a financial aspect. Okay, Vice Mayor Black.
Good evening. I have a report from the Brownsville Utilities Department, February the 10th, 2026. The TVA bill for January 2026 was $1,118,154.28. Began in February 1, an average resident electric bill increased approximately 0.882620% due to TVA fuel cost adjustment. Beginning February 1, the purchase gas adjustment charge for Blue Oval City to be $4.50 will increase to 0.880. Thank you.
Okay. No report. Okay, no report from, all right, so are there any other departmental reports? Anybody else? Okay, that's it. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
So moved, right here, second. The move properly second, all those in favor, get up and go on.
It's time to go.